Ed Sherman from California's best named city, Sherman Oaks, CPA and 20-year member of the committee. On the issues of Wall Street and the big banks, Trump sounded like he was Bernie Sanders. He's now creating an administration that looks like Goldman Sachs. The effects of this Trump executive order and plan are insidious. They don't have the immediate tangible effect. His executive order on visas and immigration, immediate effect, immediate pushback, immediate reduction, at least in its immediate effect. Obamacare, people will see it if it's repealed. They'll know it immediately. But what about changing Dodd-Frank? Well, as our leader pointed out, a Wall Street Journal article today says that they're on target to cut by $100 billion the amount of capital in the 6 largest banks that they are required to hold and allow that money to go to shareholders and management. Well, what does that mean? It won't have an immediate effect. The effect will be in the next economic downturn when those banks will have $100 billion less in cushion, and yet those loaning money to those giant banks, they're not seeking a higher rate of return. They don't think there's a greater risk because they know, or at least they believe, that if in the next economic downturn, without that $100 billion of capital and cushion, those banks can't meet their responsibilities and pay their debts, they'll be bailed out again by the federal government. So it won't have an immediate effect, but it will have a real effect on America and the social contract that pulls us together. As to this Department of Labor fiduciary rule, as our ranking member pointed out, that's going to hurt American savers to the tune of $17 billion. That is a rule supported by AARP and the Consumer Federation of America, and positive statements have been made about it by the Bank of America and Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley. And some 65% of Trump voters say that we ought to keep that rule in place. It's time that we stop the greatest bait and switch in American political history. It's time to make sure that Trump governs like he campaigned.